I visited hundreds of pagodas across Asia.
Zümrüt bir Buda ile karşılaşıyorsunuz. Bu Buda
I was
aslında
looking for something that most religions kept behind closed doors. Laughter. In which religion could laughter possibly exist? Joy and laughter are the most important parts of my life. Why would I leave that behind and turn to a religion? Before traveling these countries in depth, my knowledge of Buddhism was very limited. But as I stepped into these temples, read their histories, and immersed myself in their texts, I found something truly charismatic.
Kỳ và nước đen chị. Không nhớ kỳ. Hả? Bình thường đó hả? Đúng rồi. Xin chào thọ đi chị.
I found a philosophy that didn't just teach you something, one that transformed you and didn't exclude joy.
Có cổ anh chụp thấy cái cổ không thấy cái đầu.
We live in a highly secularized world born in reaction to centuries of religious oppression. People are tired of religion and power. Religion's attitude, which excludes humor and smiling, is very off-putting. I realized that even I had been living on my own journey within a completely science-based but joyless reality. But then I imagined this, a religion with no conflict whatsoever with modern life. A belief in which the real battlefield is your own mind and the ultimate goal is joy. I started researching Buddhism some time ago. I have been following its traces for a while. Today I'm taking you beneath the golden domes of Laos, to Vietnam's temples adorned with dragon motifs, and to Thailand's ornate palaces. We are not just looking at buildings, we are in pursuit of the laughing religion. Join me as we discover why the deepest wisdom sometimes comes with the lightest smile. Imagine this, a religion that has no conflict with that kind of life at all. Imagine believers who never single out or exclude others in any way. Imagine a faith where the real battlefield is your own mind, your own self-discipline. Imagine a religion that embraces joy and humor, one that wants happiness for people no matter what they believe in. A smiling religion. The golden domes of pagodas have stood for centuries. They still stand tall in the spiritual map of Southeast Asia. The magnificent buildings in the capital of Laos, Vietnam's dragon-motif temples by the water, the ornate palace complexes in Thailand's busy cities. These are not just places of worship, they are also symbols. They show how Buddhist thought holds joy and self-criticism together. So, are you curious? How does Buddhism see humor about itself? The answer might surprise you. Most religions call themselves untouchable, right? Buddhism is not like that. On the contrary, it is quite relaxed about this. In fact, it has a very consistent stance. An old text tells an event like this. One day, Buddha faces heavy insults. The man facing him says Buddha has stained his family's name. He throws every bad word he can think of. But Buddha doesn't get angry. He even smiles a little. Then he asks, if a host offers food to guests and the guests don't accept it, who doesn't food belong to? The man who insulted him answers right away. To the host, of course. Buddha continues. Then I don't accept your words either, so what you said stays with you. That's it. That's simple. Insults and mockery only touch you if you accept them. But be careful, this is not passive submission, this is a state of emotional balance. Think of a trained elephant standing firm on a battlefield. It doesn't flinch at arrows or spears, but that's not numbness. It's true inner balance. Still, Buddha never rejects humor. In fact, his teachings always carry a witty tone. One day he tells his student Rahula, even with good intentions, wrong practice won't bring you to enlightenment, just like you can't get milk by pulling a cow's horn. Here is another one of his comparisons. A fool gains no benefit from being with a wise person, just like a spoon never tastes the soup. These words paint a vivid picture in your mind right away, don't they? Buddha criticizes the claims of some religious figures of his time with these ironic comparisons, but he never turns it into a personal attack, because Buddha stayed away from the crude humor of his era. Teasing, sexual jokes, humor that puts others down. He kept his distance from all of that. Now let's look at the Zen tradition. This is where Buddhism feels most at ease joking about itself. Zen stories push the limits of logic. Sometimes they even seem absurd, but deep meanings are hidden inside them. You have probably heard this famous question: what is the sound of one hand clapping? There is no logical answer to this, but this isn't emptiness. It's a tool to push the mind beyond its usual patterns. Listen to another story. A monk steps on something in the dark. He worries all night long. Terrible thoughts fill his mind. I must have killed a pregnant frog. Maybe I destroyed thousands of lives. I will burn in hell. He keeps thinking. Then morning comes. He looks and sees what he stepped on wasn't even a frog. It was just a potato. This little story gently pokes fun at the monk's own anxious mind, but it also reminds us of something important. Even religious practice can become too serious sometimes, and sometimes the deepest teachings appear in the most absurd moments. There is an interesting tradition among Zen masters called capping phrases. One master gives a teaching and another master answers it with wit. This shows that even religious authority can be questioned. Actually, it's very close to modern comedy. You take a situation and turn it toward an unexpected point. The Zen tradition even tells stories where moments of enlightenment arrive with laughter. Because when all those serious mental structures suddenly become meaningless, all that's left is a smile.
Şu güzelliğe bakar mısınız?
Under the golden domes of the pagodas, this beautiful understanding keeps being passed down from generation to generation. Joy and humor are two inseparable parts of Buddhist path, because the deepest wisdom sometimes arrives with the lightest smile.